Hello, can you hear me? So now it's time to start the session. Good afternoon and welcome to today's Ask the Expert session of ITU Digital Transformation Dialogue. Today's session is part of a larger ITU series called the Digital Transformation Dialogue. The Digital Transformation Dialogue includes webinar, fireside chat, and Ask the Expert sessions, such as there, where we bring a leader in an emerging technology field to share their thoughts on important topics such as digital twin in cities. We encourage you to keep an eye out for our upcoming event, which I will give you more details about the end of the sessions. My name is Kaoru Kenyoshi. I'm Chair, Study Group 11, Working Party 3, National Institute of Information and Communication Technologies. And I'm happy to be the master of the ceremony for today's session on Guardians of Authenticity, Fighting Counterfeiting. Currently, bad actors leverage advanced technology to produce sophisticated counterfeit products and utilize digital platform for their distribution. In this regard, digital transformation play a crucial role to stop spreading counterfeit ICT devices. Therefore, businesses and governments are increasingly utilize digital tools such as Central Equipment Identity Register, as well as advanced authentication technologies, including blockchain, to track and verify the authenticity of products throughout the supply chain. Finally, before the turn the floor to our expert, I would like to highlight a few logistical items. Throughout the session, all questions from the audience will be taken from the Q&A window, not the regular Zoom chat. The Q&A icon can be seen at the bottom of your screen. In addition to your question, please indicate the city and country you are connecting from. If you would like to revisit this conversation later, I would also like to highlight that the session is being recorded, and both the recording and slides will be made available on the event website. Thank you very much for your time attendance. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our expert for today's session, João Alexandra Mancao Zanon, who joins us from the Brazilian National Telecommunication Agency. Today, Mr. João will draw on his expertise to offer insight into batting counterfeit. Please turn your attention to Mr. João. I also ask that we begin our conversation. You can submit any question you have via the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. Thank you. Back to TSB.
Hello everybody. Good morning, good day, good evening to everybody that has the time to join us. I'm glad that you're giving us some minutes so that we can discuss a little bit about this important topic. Thank you, Kaoru-san, as always, for making this introduction. For the one that doesn't know me, my name is João Zanon. I'm an advisor of the National Telecommunication Agency from Brazil, Anatel. And also, currently, I'm the vice chairman of Group 11, and also chairman of Working Party 411, where this topic is discussed at ITUT level. So I'm glad to be here with you, and I hope that with some, I can give you some information, and later on, based on the presentation that I will give now, but also track some questions for clarification from the floor. So if I may, let me share my screen, my presentation, and then we can start the discussion, okay? I hope everybody can see my screen. Let me just close my camera so that you can see the slide better. So can you confirm that, Kaoru-san, that
Yes,
the group is seeing my screen?
Yes, very well.
Okay, Thank you so much. So again, my name is João Zanon. I will give you some overview of ITUT activities on the combat of counterfeit and stolen ICT, based on this expert session on banning counterfeiting for additional transformation dialogue. Before we start, I would like to give first an overview of the main document on ITU that gives us the mandate to track this problem. And here I go a little bit high level than ITUT. I go on the PP. So on the Plenipotentiary Conference, that is the most high level forum of ITU. We had a resolution 188, that mandate that asked the members to implement all the means to combat counterfeit and temporary telecommunication ICT devices, and with that protect the ITU members from the problem and also from the negative impact. So this is the most high-level document that we have, Resolution 188, that gives us the mandate to track this problem. And later, this for sure was transformed on a lot of actions. We have also resolution on ITUT level, the WTSA. We have 2 resolutions there, and also a lot of recommendations, technical reports, and supplements that has been done on I believe we started discussing this in 2017. So I'm sure that we have achieved a lot of things. So and this picture more or less cover what has been done until now, since 2017, 2022. In 2023 also, I will just later update this slide. So like I said, we have 2 resolutions on WTSA, Resolution 96 and 97, that defines also that what ITUT, the standardization body of ITU, should do when tracking this problem. And specifically, study group 11 is the main lead study group that's deal with combating counterfeit and stolen ICT. So even though in 2015 we started with a technical report, it was the first document even before the resolution 188 that we have started to look at this problem on the impact of it. It was a very interesting document that later had as a result has culminated on all these recommendations, resolutions, and supplements. Later that, the first recommendation that we can see was the 50-50, and then we have 50-51, 50-52. I will go a little bit on details on each of them on the next slide. But here you can see on this picture a high-level view on how each of these documents they track the problem of the combining counterfeit and stolen ICT devices. The importance of unique, reliable unique identifiers, the connections with global databases, and also with CER, the central AERs that we have both at national, regional, and global level. So everything was discussed and is reflected on our recommendations. So the first document, the first recommendation that has been approved on ITUT through Group 11 was the 50-50. So it has a reference framework with high-level challenges and requirements that members as a whole should consider when deploying solutions to track this. And here and there on requirements, there are a lot of important things. One of the major one is the collaboration between all the stakeholders involved, and especially raising the awareness on the end user. Most of the time, sadly, the user, it doesn't know the impact, the bad impact that the counterfeiting can have on his life in terms of health, quality of the service, revenue of the providers and manufacturers. So we have tracked everything on the 50-50. And also we started to draft the solution, the framework of the solutions on how you can track this problem as a whole. On the 50-51 is a recommendation that's track about stolen mobile devices. And here we can ask, why we're talking about stolen mobile devices when we're talking about counterfeiting? Because when we look at the use cases around the world, it's very clear that the solution itself, especially when we're talking about mobile devices, they have overlaps, a lot of overlaps in terms of the interfaces and stakeholders that you should engage when tracking this problem. So for instance, it's important to have, as you can see on the screen here, international reference database of the unique identifier, specifically for mobile devices is the IMI, the unique identifier that we track. It's important also that you have a correlation with the law enforcement agents, local ones, for instance, the police enforcement, the customs authorities, so that you can both remove the bad devices from the market that is already on the market, but also prevent these bad devices, regular devices, stolen and counterfeit devices to enter the market as a whole, with customs control, for instance. It's also important to have a management of these unique identifiers, and for sure, you need connection to the operator itself, so that even after the device is connected to the network, you have tools based on the interface with all the stakeholders, remove these counterfeit devices from the network itself, and with that, prevent and protect the user. 5052 has raised also another very important document, a problem that most of the users that implement solutions regarding this are facing. That is the duplication of unique identifiers. Sadly, most of the solutions that we implement are based on a unique identifier, the IMI, and today it is possible to duplicate this unique identifier. So it's possible to have a device, a stolen device or a counterfeit device that has the same unique identifier as a regular device. So how can you track this? This is not an easy problem. It has a lot of complexibilities because you need to track the bad device, but on the same time, prevent the regular user that sadly has his unique identifier stolen in a way, copied in a way, protected so that he can still access the network. So this is a very complex problem that recommendation 5052 tries to help us in track. Later on, you have the 5053, and here you have most of the solutions, like I said, you involve a lot of stakeholders, and they are based on lists, blocked lists, permitted lists, allowed lists, tracked lists. So you have a lot of lists where usually you put the IMI, the unique identifiers of the device that you want to allow on the market, that you want to remove from the market, that you want to look at it, so you can decide what action that you want to aim. So all these lists, they need to be exchanged between all the stakeholders, the operators, the central database, the global central database, the regional databases. So you need to make sure that all these lists, all these informations are up to date on all these different stakeholders. And for that, you need a lot of interfaces and process to guarantee that this happens. And here 5053 tries to track this problem. And later on, we have the supplement 74, was the first supplement that we have that exactly tries to put everything that I have said before, all the first framework, the one regarding stolen devices, the one regarding the lists, and how all these stakeholders correlate with each other, and try to show in a picture how these recommendations, international recommendations, they fit with all these tools and these boxes that we need to track. So it's a very good recommendation that I would recommend that everybody that would like to implement solutions look at this supplement, because it gives us an overview of all the other documents that we have approved until now and how they correlate with each other. 75 is also a very good document with supplement 75 for the person that would like to implement solutions, because here you have examples. So you have examples of a lot of regions, a lot of countries regarding how can you implement the solutions. As you can see here, we have countries from all the regions from ITU. So you have Asia, Africa, Americas, Europe. So, and how each of these countries has tracked the problem, and what were the challenges that they have faced. So it's a very good document to look at and see what they have done and what they are doing to track, to combat counterfeit and stolen ICT. The next one that we have is the supplement 76. It's also a very interesting supplement because here, like I said before, you have the lists, the permitted list, blocked list, tracked list, but everything of this list is information should be on the central AER that we call it. It's like the central database with all this information, and this need to be exchanges with the operator provider so that in fact you can remove the bad devices from the market. So this supplement 76 give you some approaches, 2 approaches to be more specific, on how you can make these lists and the network interact with each other so that it can fulfill your goal, that is remove the counterfeit and stolen devices from the market. So also very good documents for the ones that wanted to implement solutions. And here we have a new document that it's also being done on Study Group 11, that we go a little bit away from the device and we start to look at the software, the content. So this is also another challenge that a lot of members are facing. And they are very correlated with the counterfeit devices, because here we're talking about the content misappropriation. So you have like a video, a movie that should be only be sold by authorized vendors, authorized channels, but sadly it's been done by alternate channels that doesn't give the correct revenue to all the stakeholders involved. So this is a very bad problem that we're facing. A lot of impact also on the revenue of all the telecommunication sector, but I would go ahead and say that it even has effect on the security of the user itself, because usually when we look on how this kind of things happen, usually is based on counterfeit or tempered devices itself, because you have a regular device or a counterfeit one that's allow you to download or consume this content without the proper rights. And that would be one of the problems, because, okay, you have all the revenue problems of the telecommunications sector as a whole. But when you look inside these devices, and here we reflect on the problem of counterfeit, there are a lot of other things that are even worse, because usually these counterfeit and tempered devices, they have malicious software inside that allows not only to stolen the user data that is trying to consume this content, but also they can transform this device and the network itself of the user on agents to do network attacks, since, for instance, DDoS. So this is another impact of the counterfeit and tempered devices as a whole on the telecommunication sector. And this on this technical report, we're looking on what has been done until now regarding this. So this is everything that we have done until now, but we are still working on a lot of things, a lot of new things that you can see here on this slide. So we have a new recommendation that is going, I believe it will be approved very soon, maybe on the next meeting, if I'm not mistaken, of Study Group 11 on May. I will talk a little bit later. That is the consumer-centric framework on combating counterfeit and stolen ICT. So on this document, we try to consolidate all the other recommendations, 51 until 53, on a single document, single recommendation that is very focused on the user itself. So it's a very good document also that I believe soon will be determined on Study Group 11 that I recommend everybody to look at. We also have the key.cer. Is a recommendation that talks about the central interface, the central database, the central ER, where all the information database lists are kept, and how you implement this kind of solution. Looking at national level, regional level, and global level, another very good recommendation. You also have a supplement on the key.cer, the implementation of global IMI registry with suggestions of actions that could be implemented regarding the IMI. Again, for mobile devices, IMI is still the best unique identifier that you can use. So you have some discussions regarding this also. And also a technical report on the impacts of counterfeit on the quality of the services. Also how you can, some considerations on implementations for the Africa regions. And then at last, recommendations to track the multimedia content misappropriation. We had the technical report, and now we are moving forward to prepare a recommendation regarding this. So, but how can I join this battle? As you can see, that sadly affects all the stakeholders, all the IT members developing, underdevelop, and develop that. How we can do this? So that would be my suggestion and the invitation for you all. Please look first at that portal on this topic. We're very a hot site on this. That TSB has prepared to us, and thank you again, TSB, Dennis, for all the hard work on this, to supporting us on this work. But we also have the next Group 11 meeting that will be held on May. So here you have all the information. For that will be from 1st to 10th of May 2024, where all that document that we're still producing will be discussed. And here you have deadline for contribution, fellowship, and all the information related to this meeting. So please join us, look at the information, let's join this battle against combating counterfeit. That would be all for my presentation, Kaoru-san. And I'm glad open to any question that the floor has. Thank you.
Yes, Joe-san, thank you very much for your presentation. Before take a question, I'd like to give the floor to Dennis. Do you have any comment from Dennis?
Yeah. Hello. Do you hear me and see?
Yes, very well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kaoru-san and Joe, for your presentation and the introduction of what we have in Study Group 11. So just small remark regarding TSB Circular 181 which announces the call for updating use cases that what just Joao mentioned, who supplement 75. I would like to provide you some insights because yesterday we just finished one of the regional groups for Africa, and we got a contribution proposing updates from the Congo and from Ghana. So the relevant contribution already uploaded, and we invite, taking this opportunity, we invite all the other countries from Africa region and from other regions also to submit the contributions according to the deadline 18 April just mentioned by Joao. Thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for your information. Any question from the floor through the Q&A chat? I see one question. What about the issue of the internet connections? So there is a question on the internet connection. Joe, is this a question for our topics?
Okay, so can you please repeat to me?
We have a question on the Q&A chat. Q&A, yeah. And we have
the Q&A. Okay. So let me go to the Q&A. Okay.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Second one is what is the difference between the CEIR and GEIR?
Okay, so let's track both questions. The first one is from Suleiman. What about the issues of internet connection? So my understanding, if I understood correctly, the question is, what is the impact of counterfeit on the connection, internet connection itself? As we have tracked on our studies, on the technical report, and also on the supplement on QA, on QoS that I have discussed a little bit before. It's still on discussion on Group 11. In fact, we have impacts on the quality of the services, including the internet connections, when the user use a counterfeit device. Usually the counterfeit device, it doesn't respect all the standards regarding quality and the use of the network. So it can produce noise. So the data, the connection can drop, and also it can affect the network as a whole. So it's not only the impact of the user itself, but on the network as a whole. And that's why it's very important to don't use this kind of counterfeit devices. Okay? So I go to the next one, Kaoru-san?
Yes, we can take one more.
Okay. So regarding the difference between CER and global EER. So, okay, like I said before, and this is more or less tracked on the new draft recommendation that we have, the key.CER. when tracking counterfeit and stolen devices, usually you need a central database with all the information, usually inside lists. So blocked list, tracked list, and allowed list. That this information and the central ER are also replicated to the network so that the device itself can be blocked, or the customs authorities so that they can prevent the device itself from going inside the market. But as you all know, both stolen devices and counterfeit is a global problem. It's not a national problem knowledge. So it's very common that you have counterfeit devices sent from one country to another one, and also stolen devices on the same way. And that's why it's important that you have coordination between all the involved stakeholders and member states that are tracking the problem. And that's where it enters the local CER, the regional CER, and the global EER. So you can have this information exchanged only on a region, that would be a regional EER, and then replicate it to the other members, the countries that implement the solution. And even better, you have a global solution, you can even track this on global level. Even though we already have some, for instance, for stolen device itself, you already have solutions for blocking IMI that GSMA provides. When you think about counterfeiting, this is something that we still don't have. And so this is something that the members should look at.
Okay, thank you very much, Yoao-san. And I'm afraid it's time to close this session. So I would like to wrap up by thanking Mr. Joao for his insight. I also would like to thank for audience for your attendance and participating in this Ask the Expert session. If you enjoyed today's session, we encourage you to join our next webinar on immersive inclusivity, enhancing virtual reality with accessibility on 2nd April 2024. Don't miss the opportunity to be part of an insightful dialogue. This session and our other event are a wonderful opportunity to delve into new and exciting development in the digital transformation space, and we encourage you to attend. Our IT colleague will provide relevant links to register for upcoming events in this chat. Again, thank you very much for your participating. And with that, this Ask the Expert session is concluded. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kaoru-san, TSB, everybody for joining us. Thank you.